Ever wondered what happens when a schoolyard bully bites off more than he can chew, targeting a mysterious new girl who hides a shocking secret that turns the tables in the blink of an eye? Buckle up for a roller coaster of twists, empowerment, and sweet revenge that will leave you cheering. But first, if heart-pounding stories like this get your adrenaline pumping, hit that subscribe button right now to never miss another epic tale from the world of unexpected heroes and villains getting their comeuppance. In the bustling halls of Evergreen High School, where lockers slammed like thunderclaps and whispers echoed like secrets in the wind, Jake Harlan ruled with an iron fist wrapped in a varsity jacket, his broad shoulders casting shadows over anyone who dared cross his path. Known as the undisputed king of intimidation with a reputation built on years of pushing around the weak and the newbies, his smirks as sharp as knives and his punches even sharper. But on that fateful Monday morning when the autumn leaves were just starting to turn crimson outside the windows, a new girl named Mia Voss transferred in from some obscure town no one had ever heard of, her dark hair tied back in a simple ponytail, her eyes hidden behind oversized glasses that made her look like she belonged in a library rather than the chaotic jungle of high school, carrying a backpack that seemed too heavy for her slight frame and wearing clothes that screamed, "Don't notice me." But Jake, ever the predator sensing fresh meat, spotted her immediately during lunch period as she sat alone at the end of a table, poking at her tray of mystery meat and soggy fries, his cronies chuckling beside him like hyenas waiting for the kill, and with a cocky grin he sauntered over, slamming his hand on the table hard enough to make her milk carton jump. "Hey, new girl, what's your deal? You look like you crawled out of a dumpster, this seat taken by your imaginary friends." He sneered, his voice booming to draw the attention of the entire cafeteria, kids turning their heads in anticipation of the show. But Mia didn't flinch, she just looked up slowly, her expression calm as a still pond. "No, it's not taken," she replied softly, her voice steady without a hint of fear, which only fueled Jake's ego as he plopped down across from her, leaning in close enough for her to smell his cheap cologne mixed with gym sweat. "Well, aren't you a quiet one? Bet you're one of those weirdos who reads books for fun. Hand over that apple, it's mine now," he demanded, reaching across to snatch it from her tray, his fingers brushing hers in a deliberate show of dominance, expecting her to cower or cry like so many before her. But instead, Mia's hand moved like lightning, grabbing his wrist in a grip that felt like steel cables wrapping around bone, her fingers digging into pressure points he didn't even know existed, sending a jolt of pain up his arm that made his eyes water instantly. "I wouldn't do that if I were you," she said, her tone still mild but now laced with an undercurrent of warning, the cafeteria falling silent as jaws dropped, Jake trying to yank his hand free but finding it locked in place, his face turning red with effort and surprise. "What the? Let go, you freak," he growled through gritted teeth, but Mia just tilted her head slightly, her glasses slipping down her nose to reveal eyes that burned with an intensity that chilled him to the core. And in that moment, as the pain intensified like fire racing through his nerves, Jake realized he'd messed with the wrong girl, begging for mercy in a voice that cracked like a child's. Okay, please, let go, I'm sorry, just stop." But this was only the beginning, for Mia's story was far more twisted than a simple self-defense move. Flashing back to her life before Evergreen, where she wasn't just any transfer student but the daughter of a renowned martial arts master who had trained her since she could walk in ancient techniques passed down through generations, techniques that could disable an opponent in seconds without leaving a mark. But there was more, a darker secret buried in her past, for Mia had fled her old town after an incident where she had accidentally hospitalized a gang of thugs who tried to mug her family, the police covering it up as a freak accident but whispers following her like ghosts. And now here she was, trying to start fresh, vowing to keep her skills hidden. But Jake's bullying had awakened the beast within, and as she released his wrist with a flick that left him cradling it like a broken toy, the crowd erupting in murmurs and gasps, Jake stumbling back, his tough guy facade shattering like glass. But twist number one came swiftly when Jake, humiliated and furious, didn't back down as expected but rallied his cronies later that afternoon behind the gym, cornering Mia as she walked home alone through the shortcut alley. "You think you're tough, huh? That was a lucky grab, now you're gonna pay," he snarled, his friends circling like wolves, one of them brandishing a baseball bat from the equipment shed. But Mia sighed, dropping her backpack with a thud that echoed ominously. "You really don't want to do this," she warned, but they lunged anyway, Jake throwing the first punch aimed at her face, only for her to sidestep with graceful precision, her elbow connecting with his solar plexus in a move that expelled all the air from his lungs, leaving him gasping on the ground, his friends hesitating for a split second before charging. But Mia was a blur, her hands and feet moving in a dance of deflection and counterstrikes, disarming the bat wielder with a twist that sent the weapon clattering away, kneeing another in the thigh to drop him like a sack of potatoes, and sweeping the legs out from under the third, all in under a minute, the alley filled with groans and pleas as they begged for mercy, Jake wheezing, "Please, stop, we didn't know, you're like some ninja or something." But oh, the twists deepened, for as Mia stood over them, her breath even and composure unbroken, she revealed a glimpse of her true power, pulling off her glasses to show eyes that glowed faintly with an otherworldly light, a secret she had kept hidden even from her father. She wasn't just trained in martial arts, but born with a rare genetic anomaly that enhanced her reflexes and strength to superhuman levels, a condition discovered during a childhood accident where she survived a car crash that should have killed her. Doctors baffled and labeling it a miracle, but Mia knew it was a curse, drawing unwanted attention from shadowy organizations that hunted people like her for experiments, which is why her family moved constantly, and now, with Jake and his gang at her feet, she leaned down, her voice a whisper, "Tell anyone about this, and you'll regret it more than you already do. Now get lost," watching them scramble away like scared rabbits. But the story twisted further that evening when Mia returned home to find her apartment ransacked, drawers overturned and papers scattered, her heart pounding as she realized someone had been searching for something specific, perhaps the files on her condition that her father had hidden, and in the midst of the chaos, a note left on the table, "We know what you are. Come quietly or we'll expose you," signed with a symbol she recognized from her nightmares, the emblem of a clandestine group called the Syndicate, who had been tracking enhanced individuals for years, and panic set in as she called her father, who was away on business, his voice tense over the phone, "Mia, you have to run, but first, blend in, don't use your powers again." But it was too late, for the next day at school, Jake approached her not with aggression but with fear in his eyes. "Look, about yesterday. I won't say anything, but there's these weird guys asking around about you, suits and sunglasses, like from a movie," and Mia's blood ran cold, realizing her confrontation with Jake had drawn attention, perhaps a hidden camera in the alley or a witness who tipped them off, twisting the narrative from a simple bully takedown to a high-stakes chase, forcing Mia to decide whether to flee again or stand her ground. But as classes dragged on, she noticed subtle signs, a new janitor lingering too long near her locker, a teacher glancing at her with unnatural interest, and during gym class, when Jake tried to apologize awkwardly, "Hey, I was a jerk, okay. Truce." She nodded, but the twist exploded when the gym doors burst open and 3 men in black stormed in, tasers drawn, shouting, "Target acquired, secure the girl." The students screaming and scattering as chaos erupted, Jake freezing in shock but then, surprisingly, stepping in front of Mia, "Hey, leave her alone." His voice shaky but defiant, a redemption arc unfolding in real time as Mia whispered, "Get out of here, Jake, this isn't your fight," but he shook his head, "After what you did. Nah, I owe you," and as the men advanced, Mia's powers surged, her eyes glowing brighter as she disarmed the first with a flying kick that sent him crashing into the bleachers, dodging a taser shot that singed the air, grabbing the second by the arm and flipping him over her shoulder with effortless strength, the third firing wildly but Jake tackling him from the side, grunting as they wrestled on the mat, giving Mia the opening to deliver a precise strike to the man's neck, rendering him unconscious, the gym falling silent once more as teachers rushed in. But Mia knew this was just the beginning. The Syndicate wouldn't stop, and in a shocking twist, Jake revealed his own secret as they hid in the equipment room afterward, panting and adrenaline-fueled, "You think you're the only one with weird stuff? My dad's in the military, he told me about groups like this, experimenting on kids. I can help," his eyes earnest for the first time, shedding the bully persona like an old skin, admitting that his tough act was a cover for his own insecurities from a broken home, where his father was absent and his mother struggled, pushing him to lash out. But now, united by circumstance, they formed an unlikely alliance, Mia training him in basic self-defense that night in an abandoned warehouse, twists layering as they uncovered that the Syndicate had infiltrated the school board, the principal being a mole who had orchestrated Mia's transfer to trap her, files on her desk proving it, leading to a midnight break-in where they hacked the computer. Well, Jake's hidden talent for tech coming into play, a twist revealing he was a closet hacker, bypassing firewalls to download evidence, but alarms blared, guards swarming, Mia's superhuman speed allowing them to escape through vents and rooftops, Jake barely keeping up but determined, their bond growing amid the danger, and as dawn broke, they confronted the principal in her office, Mia's voice steady, "We know everything, call off your dogs or this goes public," but the twist deepened when the principal laughed, "You have no idea, child, you're not the only enhanced one here," revealing her own powers by levitating a pen with telekinesis, a former Syndicate experiment gone rogue, now recruiting for her own faction, offering Mia a place. "Join me, and we'll take them down together, temptation flickering in Mia's eyes as she considered the power, but Jake's hand on her shoulder grounded her. Don't, you're better than that, and in a climactic battle, Mia clashed with the principal, dodges and strikes blurring, her strength against telekinetic blasts that hurled desks like missiles, Jake distracting with improvised weapons, finally Mia landing a blow that disrupted the woman's focus, binding her with gym ropes as police sirens wailed outside, tipped off by an anonymous call from Jake. But the ultimate twist came when Mia's father arrived, not just a martial arts master but a retired Syndicate hunter. His business trip, a cover for tracking them, embracing her with pride. You did good, kid, but we have to move again. Yet Mia stood firm, no more running. With friends like Jake, I can fight, and as the Syndicate retreated for now, Jake grinning sheepishly, so, wanna grab pizza sometime? As friends, the bully transformed into an ally, begging for mercy no longer but earning respect, the school buzzing with rumors of the new girl superhero, Mia's secret safe for now, but hints of greater threats lingering, like a coded message on her phone from an unknown sender. This isn't over, there are more like you, setting the stage for future adventures. But for that day, justice prevailed in the most unexpected ways, twists weaving a tapestry of redemption, power, and unlikely friendships that changed everything forever in the halls of Evergreen High.